Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just another recent finds video. Kind of the same as all the other ones I've been posting over the past couple months. Just another week of purging, getting rid of some stuff, and picking up some new finds and trades. So this was kind of a nice mixture this week because it not only was a couple of new things that I have been wanting and needing to get for some time, it was also some really nice replacement stuff. You know, kind of some cheaper LPs that was just nice to find some great clean copies, and actually a Grail kind of thrown in there. Definitely something that's a Grail for my collection. So that was really exciting too. So yeah, just a lot of different things, and I'm just kind of jump right into it. We'll start off with what's actually playing in the background, which is the Smiths. Hat full of Holo there. Definitely a great Smiths album. I can't necessarily say it's my favorite album by them, but it definitely has my favorite song by them, which is How Soon Is Now. I love that song. So, you know, one I've been wanting to get for quite some time and happened to find one at a really good price in the midst of all my trading and everything, so that was great. But yeah, that's my favorite song by the Smiths, and I would say probably as an individual artist with Morrissey, Every Day is Like Sunday is definitely my favorite song by him on the individual side. So really, really great pickup. Beautiful cover too, great artwork. So that was a really, really great find. And then this is one I wasn't necessarily looking for, but as I was digging and stumbled across it, Black Sabbath Born Again. Now I say I wasn't looking for it because I already had a copy of it, and I mentioned before I'm working on my Black Sabbath box set, which I'll probably be sharing with you guys pretty soon now. So I had a copy of this, but when I stumbled across this one and saw that it was darn near, you know, almost near mint, excellent to near mint condition. So I thought this is a great opportunity for an upgrade. So I went ahead and picked it up, and it was only $9 too, of course, which was fantastic. So that was an easy trade decision. So yeah, nice to kind of pick that up and get a clean copy of that. So if anyone does need a copy, you know, I do have my, what I would consider to be a VG Plus copy. You know, PM me or whatever, let me know, and we can see what we can work out there. But, you know, just kind of great stuff after, you know, Ozzy and everyone kind of took off and Black Sabbath went into that period that, you know, not a lot of people know about. And the albums, of course, they are hard as heck to find, vinyl or CD for that matter. But, you know, Ian Gillan was the lead singer on this album. And, you know, definitely decent stuff. Not going to sound like the original Black Sabbath, but still definitely pretty cool stuff. So if you're not familiar with this album, definitely one worth checking out. And then there's a little more Sabbath. Black Sabbath featuring Tony. Of course, 7-star. Same thing. You're not going to get everything that maybe you know about from the original Sabbath with Ozzy, but still kind of some great stuff. And I mean, Tony's still doing his thing in here. So again, if you're not familiar with this album, definitely one to check out as well. What's next here? Oh, this is one of those replacement copies I got, which was nice. Got a nice copy of Van Halen, Women and Children First. I'm sure all you guys are familiar with this album, of course. It's a total classic. Just one I've been needing for a couple years since I got rid of my old copy. But yeah, great stuff. So nice to have that back in the collection. What I'm really needing to find with Van Halen is a really good mint copy of 5150 and OU812. I think the two I have, the covers are in great condition, but the vinyl is not very clean. So those are the next two that I really want to get my hands on, because those are two of my favorite Van Halen albums. What's next here? Oh, okay, here's the Grail. Melissa Etheridge, Never Enough. This is an album that literally, I would say from 6 months to a year into my collecting, I've been wanting to get this album. And so to actually have a copy in hand now is fantastic. I mean, it's not like it's the the most expensive album in the world. I mean, typically if you were looking on eBay or something like that, you would find these anywhere from $40 to $75, maybe $80 on the high end in mint condition. In most cases, they were overseas. That was one thing that you had to deal with. But they weren't always in like perfect condition either. So to find one that was in mint condition, and I got it for under $24, which was just freaking awesome. So I was extremely excited to get this album. Like I said, truly a grail that I've been wanting almost the entire time I've been collecting. And I'm a huge fan of Melissa Etheridge. I mean, of course, I first really heard of her, if you will, when, you know, I'm the Only One and Come to My Window. You know, those are kind of some big pop hits when those first came out. I don't remember if that was late 80s, early 90s, or whenever that was. But, you know, if you were anywhere around a radio or watching any music video shows at that point in time, you were hearing those songs all the time. But somewhere down the line, when the movie Money Train came out with Wesley Snipes and Woody, what's his name, there was a scene in there where there was like one of them was making love to J-Lo actually, and the other was getting beat up by these gangsters for money that he owed, and it was kind of just going back and forth between the two scenes. While it was doing that, the song Dance Without Sleeping was playing. And I remember just watching that movie and hearing that song, and I thought, man, that's a cool song. And of course, I looked at the credits to see who sang it, discovered it was her, and that brought me to this album, because it's on this album. So that's how I first discovered this album. And then after discovering this album, the song Ain't It Heavy was what really, really kind of pulled me into her and what she did, and became kind of my favorite song for the longest time. This is my favorite album. Still definitely one of my top 2 Melissa Etheridge albums. So yeah, that's one of the things that I found so exciting about this. And one of the things I really like about her as an artist, I'll just kind of take maybe a quick 90 seconds here just to say, is that the way that she sings, writes, and the vibe, feeling, and emotion that she puts out around the subject of love, to me, is just unbelievable. It's just like, if I were an artist myself and I were able to actually write songs and try to share that emotion, it would 100% to a T be in the exact same way that Melissa Etheridge shares that feeling and emotion of love in her lyrics and in her delivery. I just so get it. And if it's songs like, you know, Come to My Window, We Got No Place to Go, or Nowhere to Go, what other stuff? Oh, I Want to Be in Love, especially that one. Like the lyrics alone in that song, I think are just absolutely amazing. If you just really pay attention to what she's saying, I mean, it's just phenomenal. Like I said, for me, she speaks the exact same language of love that I do. Sometimes kind of makes me wish like I was female and could be a lesbian, because then I could actually have a chance to get with her. And then you could be with somebody who you knew completely understood love the same way that you do. But yeah, it's just amazing, and I've always loved her writing, mainly because of that. So yeah, very, very good stuff. So if you're not familiar with her, you know, check out some of those songs I just mentioned. Again, just really kind of sit back and take in the lyrics, and I think you'll definitely get a appreciation for the type of artist that she is. So great grail find right there. That's awesome. Next one here, another one of those half-price book markdowns. You know, marked down from $20-something to like $6. And so when I saw it, I pulled out the phone, gave it a listen to a couple songs, and kind of liked it. I can't give like really a complete review because I haven't listened to the whole album all the way through yet. But my initial kind of feel is you take the Dum Dum Girls and kind of synth pop it a little more, and that's kind of the feeling that I get from this album, or from the few things that I've listened to. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say much about it now because again, I haven't taken it all in. But maybe once I do, I'll come back in another video and give you a little more insight on this. But the few things I've heard so far have been pretty darn good. All right, now these next 4 albums here, this is kind of a cool story. This is one of those unexpected ones. There's a store I stop by that I usually find a lot of good used CDs, you know, very cheap, great condition, that type of thing. So I stopped by there one day and I see a couple of these albums and I'm like, oh, those are really cool. Albums I've wanted for a while, but was never going to spend any money to buy them because they were more so just, they'd be really, really cool to have and not really worth spending money on. So I saw them and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. And also, they're like 20-25% cheaper than I've seen them any other place, brand new. And I was like, oh, now you're really rubbing salt in the wound. But still, I'm not spending any money. So, and then I don't know, I'm kind of sharing this, but just I thought it was kind of funny. But then I was walking around the store. I noticed he has these receivers for sale, which I've always known, but they just hit me that day. And I thought, wait a minute, I got that receiver sitting in my trunk because I helped a friend move some stuff a while ago and they were getting rid of some things. They had like some 5.1 receivers and stuff like that. Said, you know, I'm not going to use this. You can take it. If you can use it, great. If you want to give it away or we'll sell it, whatever. So like, okay, I maybe I'll figure out something to do with it because I like more of the vintage stuff. But it's just like been sitting in my trunk for a few months now or whatever. And so it just hit me. Maybe I should see if this guy wants to buy it. And sure enough, I take him in. The guy's like, sure, I'll give you $110 trade for this. Deal. And so it just, I'm so glad I thought about that. Otherwise, I would never have gotten these albums that day. And so, what are those albums? This is one right here, which is Queen, the Greatest Hits Volume 2. You know, I've seen this album in a number of different places, and the thing I loved most about it was just like the album itself, the cover, and it was just like, wow, it feels good to hold. I mean, and it looks fantastic in the whole nine, and it just always made me think I would love to have it, but if I ever bought it, the only reason would really be because it's a cool looking album. You know, like I have the Queen box set, and I have almost all of these songs on vinyl, so it just wasn't worth the $34 that it was in most places. But he had it marked down to $20, which was really, really cool. When I still wasn't going to buy it at $20, but then when I got that trade thing, I was like, yes. So I got an opportunity to put this just beautiful piece in my collection. And it really is nice. It's a nice 2 LP set, you know, 180 gram vinyl, sounds great. I did play both LPs the other day, and so yeah, that was a very nice pickup that I had no clue that I was getting when I walked into the store that day. And then this was the other one that I picked up, Queen's Greatest Hits, which I guess this is considered Volume 1. And same thing, all the same classic tunes that everyone knows about Queen and everything, but again, very nice 2 LP 180 gram set. Just a great piece to own. I mean, see, even just the feel of holding this is just really, really awesome. And let's see, another one I picked up in that same trade, because again, this is one I would never pay money for, but freaking awesome to own. David Bowie, Nothing Has Changed, the very best of. Awesome 2 LP set. And this is one of those fantastic doing stuff around the house, just need to throw something on. I mean, it's just hit after hit after hit with everything from Let's Dance to Changes to Ashes, Space Odyssey, Ziggy, Rebel Rebel, Under Pressure, China Girl, Modern Love. So 70s all the way up through the 80s, just great stuff. So again, that was a fantastic pickup. And then I also got Little River Band. Probably didn't see that one coming. So it was nice to find one of these in really great condition. I think he had this one at like $3 or something like that. But it has a song Reminiscing on it, which is probably my favorite song by the Little River Band. So I've been wanting to get a copy of this for quite some time. So that's a great find. But yeah, Reminiscing is just a cool song. It definitely has that 70s, like off-kilter vocal delivery in certain spots, and it's one of those songs that floats, and I love it. So great find there. Let's see what else we have here. I guess got like 4 more. The Black Crows, 3 Snakes and One Charm. This was another good pickup too, because this is an album that I kind of liked, or I think kind of like, actually I do like it, and I have it on CD and in their box set. But it's another one I just wasn't willing to, I didn't see it was worth paying for. So I was glad that they had this there, and I was able to do a trade as well. So very, very cool stuff. I mean, it's vintage Black Crows. I mean, nothing really beats their first 2 albums in my opinion, but they definitely still carry over that same style and that southern rock, that what I almost refer to as true rock and roll. I'm a huge Black Crows fan, so great pickup there. And it's nice to find a nice mint copy of America's Greatest Hits. So good replacement find there. And the next one here is probably an album that I've owned 4 or 5 copies of over the years, just always trying to look for a mint one, again without having to pay a ton of money for it. So it was, finally got my hands on a copy of that. I mean, a teeny bit of slight wear trying to come in there, but other than that, great album from top to bottom, plays mint. So the classic Deep Purple, made in Japan. I listened to this all the way through a couple nights ago, and just one of those ones where you kind of forget, and then you throw it back on and you realize, wow, that was a freaking good live album. So all the classic stuff on there. And last but not least, another good replacement, Gordon Lightfoot. This is one of those great albums too that, you typically find these anywhere from $3 to $4, maybe up to $7 or $8. So again, not an expensive album, but just really, really hard to find one that just doesn't have ring wear all throughout it in the whole 9. And so yeah, so to find a nice mint copy of that was fantastic. But Gordon Lightfoot, Gord's Gold, just kind of a greatest hits type thing. And my favorite song is If You Could Read My Mind. I think that's an absolute beautiful song. If you're not familiar with that, make sure you go check that song out, because I think most people will love it, because it's just a wonderful piece of music. That nice 70s feel, that 70s soft rock / folkish feel to it. Great lyrics, kind of great storytelling within it, and just kind of a really good album overall. So check that out if you're not familiar with it. Alright, so there you go, VC. Those are recent finds over the past week or two. Yeah, as always, let me know what you think. And you guys have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Alright, take care, guys.